Morning, this is Andy with Mountain Computers, the GoGreen PC TuneUp guy. What is today? October 8th, I believe. Anyhow, I want to share with you something that I just noticed on this HP computer, this all-in-one that just came in. The client brought his computer in, and it had some problems. And so I said, okay, I'll check it out. He'd been hacked, so I went through and made sure all that stuff was gone. But when I went to do the Windows updates, it was 1909, and it wanted to go to the 2004 build of Windows 10. Now, mind you, the 1909 to 2004 build, an update, usually used to take 2 hours or less. Now it's a lot faster. However, I did notice something that I want to show you real quick that you need to fix. Okay, so let me turn this thing on real quick, and I'll zoom in. I think I could do this with the camera. Yeah, I'll zoom in here and turn this to where you can see it a little better. And there you go. Now once this comes up, I'm going to show you what the result of this 1909 to 2004 build looked like. Okay. Let's see. I'm going to put my hand about right here, just for a second, just in case it shows an email address. I don't want an email address to pop up on your screen, okay? Oh, no, it says getting Windows ready. Windows ready. Seems to do that a lot more than not. And I already did that Windows update. Still thinking. Huh. Okay, we'll let this go for a second. Don't worry. It might be taking longer than I expect. Oh, 35%, 67%, 100%. Okay. See that? That was pretty cool. Almost done. Mind you, this isn't a really fast computer. I mean, it's got 4 gig of RAM. It's not a quad core. It's a Radeon graphics series, Athlon series, dual core. Still working. But anyhow, what I wanted to share with you is the Windows cleanup of the previous Windows update. So what's bad about it is it says it doesn't clean up after itself very well, and I'm rather surprised about it, which it bothers me. Still 100%. I might have to start this video over. Nope, here it comes. Okay, yeah. So we're not going to show the name. It's got a person's name and email address there. I don't want to show that for their privacy. Okay. Boy, is it taking its sweet time. It's okay. Da 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 da. Gosh, that's what you get for a non-quad core system with Windows 10. You want to be quad core or higher with 8 gig of RAM or higher. Just the way it is. And 2 gigahertz or higher. I could zoom back out and talk to you about this, but I'm going to leave my hand right here for a second. Okay, so we're past that. Uh-oh. Does it show his name? Yeah, it does. That's okay. George Summers. Alright, whatever. At least it didn't show his email address. Okay, so I'm going to bring up a command prompt here real quick. Alright, CMD. And when I do this, so what? Okay. Let's go backwards to the root directory and just say windows.old. Okay, see that windows.old? This was yesterday, yesterday afternoon on October 7th, the windows to windows.old. So I was like, oh, okay, no problem. Not a big deal. We went from 1909 to 2004. However, when I brought up the Windows logo E to explore, I noticed the disk drive was a 1 terabyte drive. Okay. And I said, okay, well, let's just look to see how, right-click and choose properties. Let's see how much of a disk cleanup did 1909 to 2004. What kind of mess did it create? And at first I thought, maybe what? I don't know, 2, 3, 4 gigabytes. I mean, Windows 10 is what, 7 gig on a jump drive? Or, I mean, it used to fit on a DVD. It used to fit on a CD, but now it doesn't. So at this point, you can see that there's a total amount of space you gain is 20 megabytes. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about clean up the system files. Click on Clean Up System Files and let it think for a second here. Now mind you, there's 59 gigabytes, 55 gigabytes used right now, okay? 55 out of 874. Now what's really sad is when this finishes calculating, you're going to be astounded about how much that windows.old directory contains. How much? And it's thinking, it's still thinking. It thinks a lot. But when it pops up here in a few seconds, you'll know. Again, this is Andy with Mountain Computers, the GoGreen PC TuneUp guy. It's October 8th, a little after 10. So it's thinking, it's still thinking, and still thinking. Even it's because of McAfee. See right down here on the, right down here, McAfee is a pig. Some people use it. They like it because it sort of babysits them. Norton does a great job at babysitting people who don't know how to surf the internet. It tells you whether or not a website's safe or not. Most of the browsers like Firefox or Chrome warns you. The new version of Internet Explorer, Microsoft's new rendition of Edge, doesn't do that yet. It doesn't warn you and says, hey, this is a potentially bad site. Firefox does a good job. Chrome does some, I believe. I haven't seen it lately. But when it used to say, warning, you know, this is a potentially bad site, I like that. People will either proceed or not. Anyhow, it's taking a long time for this to calculate the disk cleanup system files. But when it pops up here, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. Not much else you can say other than to say, let's see. I like videos to be rather short, but this one's taking a long time, but it just goes to show you. Sometimes, I've already tuned this system up too. I've already done the GoGreen PC tune-up. It just has a couple games and stuff like that. But other than that though, it's still chewing, I can tell. I don't see anything dangerous here. Wow, it's taking a long time to calculate that. What kind of system is this? Windows logo pause break. Yeah, Athlon Silver. That explains a lot. But other than that though, what can you do? Nothing. Bump the RAM, but it's an all-in-one. The RAM is usually accessible at some point. Is this gonna like eventually get there? I know it's still processing. I can hear it. Wow. So you can see that it's 55 gigabytes used space, free space, 874. And if this was an SSD drive, we would have already been done. And you don't need to defrag SSD drives, even though they, like in the old days, they said you don't have to defrag NTFS drives, when technically you do. Some NTFS engineers I've talked to say you do. Okay, so it just popped up. It's still scanning. Took that long to get there, but it's the processor. Take a few minutes. Yeah, let's talk about a few minutes. Let's talk about 8 minutes, 9 minutes, 10 minutes. Okay, there we go. All right, so this is the disk cleanup here. So as you can see right here, disk cleanup, Defender, so on and so forth. However, when you scroll down, it's going to show you that right there. That is the problem. 18.1 gigabytes of the previous Windows installation. Windows.old, Windows. You're telling me 18 gigabytes out of 55 gigabytes is being used to hold the previous Windows installation. I get it. What you're saying is if something is wrong, we can roll back to the previous Windows installation. I get it. But 18 gigabytes? Now this isn't a problem for a 1 terabyte drive. But 1 terabyte, you know, how much is 18 gigabytes? Just round it up to 20, okay? So what's 20 gig on 1 terabyte? That's a pretty large percentage. But what about 20 gig on 55 gig? Right? That's like 40 some percent. 45%, 40%? So what you're telling me is if I don't do this, click this and clean it up, I'm just going to click this. Say, okay, yeah, get rid of it. Are you sure? Yeah, go for it. Yep. Now this is when it's done. I know. Are you sure? Yes. Yeah. 1909 to 2004. His data's backed up. He doesn't have that much anyhow. We can always quickly reload his computer, and he doesn't have any specialized software that we have to worry about. So if we click over here, it tells you 939 451, okay? We'll see how long this takes. I just think that's a huge waste. I mean, if you had a laptop that was 128 gigabyte, 120 gig SSD, or a laptop with 250 gig SSD, or 500 gig SSD, and I don't know, you were running low on disk space, would you allow 18, almost 20 gigabytes to be held over from a Windows update? No. Now, am I complaining? Not really. I'm just stating a fact. This is a fact. And most people will not know what this means, other than when it's cleaned up, you'll get 20 gig back. And that's a big deal. I mean, that is a big deal. 20 gig. Even if you have a 120 gig boot drive, 20 gigabytes is significant, okay? That's 18, 20%. I mean, it's almost 20%. I mean, 120 gig, 10% is 12 gig. So 24 gig, what's between 12 and 24? You know, 6. So you're talking about 15%. So anyhow, it's not really a rant. It's just fact. And let's see, I mean, we're running on a really slow computer, so when this comes back, so if we get back, say 20 gigabytes, or let's just say 20 for the sake of argument. So this use space will drop from 55. Let's just say it's going to drop to 37 or 38 gigabytes. Maybe 38. It won't drop a full 20. I didn't click anything else other than the previous Windows installation, because that's the biggest chunk. I mean, even though there's a small sliver of usage here out of the whole drive, out of the whole donut, that 55 gigabytes, 18 gigabytes is the previous Windows installation that may never go away. So with that being said, when you go from 1909 to 2004 build, and we go from 2004 to the next build up, will it go Windows.old, Windows.old, to where you have .old, which I've seen before. So will that go from 18 gigabytes to another 18 gigabytes, which is 36 gigabytes, more or less? So now you've got 40 gigabytes just in previous Windows installations being used up on your valuable disk space that you could be using for other things like movies, videos, pictures. Now some clients I have, they have thousands of pictures, thousands of videos that go back 10 years, hundreds of thousands of songs. Some of my musician friends, they have 300 gigabytes of music. Some of my video photography professionals have terabytes of data on externals with multiple backups. So you can see it's moving along pretty good right now. I can tell you right now with this right here, that right there, let's just see what it does at the end. It's almost done. Like I said, For the uninformed that don't know what's going on under the hood, that's a big deal. It is a big deal. Yeah. So once this is done, we'll close this and bring it back up since we can't refresh the window. That would be cool if there was a button called refresh on this screen. If there was a button called refresh, like right here or right here, that would be cool. That would be really cool. So, I don't know. Interesting, huh? I don't know, maybe I should just do a photo. Can I do a photo in stream? I don't know. Are we still playing? No. Let's hit play again. Yeah, we're still playing. Almost done. Boy, you can still hear it grinding. Just to remove this directory, this windows.old directory, that's the 1909 directory. I mean, I won't go into it. Oh, it's finally getting there. So, 55 gigabytes, 18 gigabytes in the previous Windows installation, out of 1 terabyte on a platter. Almost done. Now remember, you have to do disk cleanup and then system cleanup. You just can't do this one. You got to go to the next step. It's a nice computer. I mean, it's an all-in-one. Almost done. I'm betting that's going to go from 55 to 37, 38 gigabytes. Maybe 35. Who knows? It's thinking. Wow, still thinking. One of the things we do clean up is we clean up the hibernation file. While this is still doing it, I'll just do a directory /ah. So we got a paging file and we got a swap file. We don't see the hibernation file. That's in your power CFG command. Yeah, see, power CFG dash hidden dash hibernation off. We do that with the GoGreen PC TuneUp, so it's not a big deal. Just going to switch back over to here, see if it's done yet. It says it's done. That pop-up disappeared. So, oh yeah, see, we went from 939 right here, went from 939 451 to 951. Okay. So 939 to 951. Wait a minute. Did that go up? That couldn't have gone up. Why did that go up? Oh, free. Sorry. Thought used. Yeah, free. So let's close this. Windows logo E. Same as clicking on this folder. Right click on this. Choose properties. Oh, it didn't go down as much as I thought. I thought it was going to go down to 37, 38. It only went from 55 to 44? Even though it said 18.1 gigabytes? Used. Did it finish? Yeah, it's gone. How's that possible? How did it go from 18.1 used? 55 to 44 is only 11 gigabytes. That's strange. That's really strange. 39, 51 to 30, yeah, it's 10, 11, 12. That's 12 gigabytes. That doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, whatever. Yeah, I mean, this is 1204 or 2004 build. The other thing about Microsoft is they don't show you the build number without going into the system. I mean, you should be able to go build number right away. You have to go down here to about, And then once you go to about, you got to scroll all the way down here to get to this version number. That's ridiculous. I should be able to go Windows logo, pause break, just like we did before, and say Windows 10 Home, and you should have the build number right there behind it. Okay? So Microsoft, when I post this, you need to understand, when I do Windows logo, pause break on the keyboard, when it pops up this system information, even if it's in the old control panel, I don't care what you do. Whatever you use to replace this, keep your information there, but show the build number. Show the build number. You don't show it down here. This is the system. This is the hardware. But you up here need to have the build number right here. Okay. And even if I did a ver, most people don't know all the versions. So if I brought up a command and type in ver, yeah, 10.0.19041.508. Nobody knows what that is. That's not build 2004. That's not build 1909 in my mind. If you did do the builds to match, that would say, see, that says 1904. Which makes me wonder, am I 1904? No, I'm not. I'm 2004, which I think is weird. Is that a bug? No, it says right here, OS build 1904.1.508. I wish those would match. That should be 2004.508. So you have your major, your minor, your builds. So OS, major, minor, maintenance. Major, minor, maintenance. Something like that. So whatever. So I'm going to zoom back out from this and just tell you that this little experiment here, just showing you what's going on. Man, the light is so wrong here. So anyhow, this is Andy from Mountain Computers, the GoGreen PC TuneUp guy. Have a great day, and there'll be more to come. Like, subscribe, and share. Take care. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Andy again with Mountain Computers. One thing I forgot to show you in this computer is that once you do a cleanup of the Windows file system, where this Windows directory doesn't have Windows.old, Windows.old.old, etc., etc., and what's important is you can run the GoGreen PC TuneUp software, this utility that we sell and license. What you can do is at this point is once that's done, you can go ahead and create a restore point. This is our version of a restore point, which overrides the Microsoft restore point logic. This one is the actual correct way to do a restore point, not the Microsoft way. One, it allows you to increase the frequency of the restore points, and the other thing is it actually turns the restore point value from sometimes 1% to 5%. As you can tell, if I bring up the Windows logo pause break key and I go to system protection, you'll see that it's on. If I do a configure, you'll see it's set to 5%. If I don't know, if I turn this off, say yes, and set this, I'll just take this to 0%. I'll take it to 1% and say okay. Okay, so it's off, etc., etc. So if I go ahead and do this again, create a restore point, let's see what happens. I used to override that setting and turn it back on, force it back on, because Microsoft, after some Windows updates, will turn the restore points off or reduce them to nothing, or make it to where you can't have a restore point where it can't do an auto recover properly. So that finished. Let's bring up system protection again. Okay, so it's back on, and it's back on, and it's back at 5%. And if I do system restore, it actually will look to see what restore points I have, and there you go. So long story short, after you do a Windows update, after you, like 1909 to 2004, after you do all of those things, after you do the Windows Update cleanup, you can actually download our software, GoGreen PC TuneUp, from our website. You just Google GGPCTU or go to mountaincomputers.org and download this. And you don't have to license our software to run this part of the program. You can just download it. We include this feature for free. Create Restore Point is that button right there. Even if we unlicense this, double-click, it'll unlicense it. It still will run. You just double-click the logo 3 times. It'll deserialize and deregister the software. We do that sometimes when we install it, and people don't pay for it. This person paid for it. And that serial number that we use is a global serial number when we do like free versions, free deliveries and stuff like that of the software. So it did run without me being licensed, because if I went to run this, it would say, please provide that. These buttons aren't green. So if I go ahead and unlock this, I'll just put in our global code. That'll go ahead and restore the software to its activation. So as you can see, it turns it back on, and the restore point still is available. And there you go. Anyhow, this is Andy from Mountain Computers. I just wanted to show you that. You definitely need to make sure that the restore points after you do a Windows update cleanup, where the old operating system, the update's removed, that your system protection is on, that it is configured properly, not for 1%, but 5%. Even if it's a small drive, 5% is better than 1%. And that's about it. So anyhow, I just wanted to share that with you because it was important. So anyhow, this is Andy from Mountain Computers, the GoGreen PC TuneUp guy. Like, subscribe, and share, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye-bye.